It feels like every few weeks, somebody on the internet is shouting that the next big AI model is basically AGI, artificial general intelligence. Then the model actually drops. It's really good. And a month later, yep, they're saying, no, wait, the next one is the real AGI. Welcome back to AI Verdict. I'm so glad you're here for this explainer because our goal today is super simple. We do the heavy research so you don't have to, cutting right through all that endless internet hype. I mean, when Elon Musk goes on the record saying there's a 10% chance Grok-5 will be literally indistinguishable from AGI, you are completely right to roll your eyes a little bit. But as we start digging through the roadmaps, the system cards, and the actual hard benchmark numbers, a really fascinating reality emerges. The two companies sprinting the hardest at this finish line aren't even running the same race. Before we jump into the deep dive, if you want to join our awesome community of AI enthusiasts, make sure to grab our free weekly newsletter. It's totally packed with the key AI news, tools, and resources you need. Because in today's explainer, we are putting GPT-6 and Grok-5 side by side to separate actual, documented evidence from all that internet noise and confident online predictions. Okay, let's dive into this. To evaluate these two totally diverging AI philosophies, we're going to break this down into 6 clear steps: the current AI arena, architecture and scale, capabilities, safety and alignment, timelines, and finally, the AI verdict. Step 1. The current AI arena, GPT-5 versus the Grok-4 series. To actually understand the next generation of models, we've got to look at the foundations they're currently built on, right? So on OpenAI's side, we've seen very deliberate, calculated releases. GPT-5 launched in August 2025, bringing a really measurable jump in math, coding, vision, and a highly efficient thinking mode. Then GPT 5.5 arrived in early 2026, and that added persistent memory and a massive context window, stretching toward 1 million tokens. They are clearly building a careful, memory-rich, safety-first assistant. XAI, on the flip side, has been playing at a totally different tempo. They've just been shipping constantly, pushing deep into the Grok-4 series by 2026. Grok 4.1 absolutely dominates human preference tests for its emotional tone and creative writing. Then Grok 4.3 pushed hard into multi-step agentic tasks, basically complex goals the AI breaks down and independently executes on its own. Even though 4.3 is slightly behind GPT 5.5 on benchmarks, XAI is successfully building a fast, blunt, and emotionally fluent model. Moving on to step 2, architecture, scale, and compute. Now, neither company has published official specs, obviously, but industry leaks and roadmaps give us a crystal clear picture of their strategies, and there is a massive divergence here. GPT-6 is aiming for an efficient mixture of experts design, rumored to be somewhere in the 20 to 50 trillion parameter range. This setup lets it efficiently use only the relevant parts of its network for any given query. Grok-5, however, is taking a massive brute force leap. They're planning 6 trillion and 10 trillion parameter versions. To put that into perspective, that is a 20-fold jump from Grok 4.3. The theory there is basically pile on enough scale and the intelligence just falls out. But scale is literally nothing without the hardware to train it. 100,000. That is the number of NVIDIA GPUs reportedly housed at OpenAI's Stargate campus in Texas right now. And backed by massive funding from Microsoft, Oracle, and SoftBank, their long-term plan reaches into the millions of chips. It is a highly disciplined, heavily funded compute machine. XAI takes a totally different path. They're using the Colossus 2 cluster, and honestly, since being absorbed by SpaceX in early 2026, their compute budget is effectively whatever Elon Musk decides it is. But here's XAI's real uncopyable advantage. They have a live fire hose of real-world data from X and Tesla sensors. So this isn't purely a game of who has more GPUs anymore. It's a test of whether a unique stream of real-world data can actually challenge pure GPU dominance. Step 3. Capabilities and emergent behavior. So what is all this massive hardware actually meant to produce? Well, we're looking at distinctively different capabilities. GPT-6 is operating on a thesis of depth over time. OpenAI wants this to be less of a standard chatbot and way more of a persistent collaborator. It's designed to remember the entire shape of your projects across different sessions over weeks or even months. Grok-5's thesis is breadth and nerve. Grok models already span a full sensory stack. We're talking text, code, images, voice, and video. Musk's big bet is that massive scale combined with this unique data will trigger something entirely new. And that brings us to emergent behavior. By definition, emergent behavior is when an AI learns or exhibits capabilities it was never explicitly trained for, simply because of massive scale and data. We have to be honest here. This is a total double-edged sword. It is incredibly thrilling on the upside, like when a model suddenly learns to play chess without being taught. But it is genuinely worrying on the downside, when an AI might start exhibiting unpredicted, unaligned responses.
Which leads right into step 4, safety and AI alignment. This is the real fork in the road.
So the crucial point is that this represents the core engineering philosophies dividing these two companies. Let's look at OpenAI's approach, which they champion as safe completions. GPT-5 was explicitly trained to provide the most helpful answers safely, which resulted in far more accurate reasoning and a huge drop in fabrications. GPT-6 is going to inherit all of this strict safety scaffolding, alongside encrypted, user-controlled memory to make sure personalization doesn't turn into a privacy nightmare. Their philosophy is basically safe, then powerful. Sitting intentionally at the exact opposite end of the spectrum is XAI. They position Grok as a truth-seeking model. It's built with far fewer guardrails and will readily engage with those spicy, controversial questions that other chatbots completely dodge. Now, this is a massive appeal for users who want unrestricted outputs, but it comes at a very real cost. Recently, a US government review actually flagged that Grok-4 does not currently meet the safety and alignment expectations required for general government use. XAI's operating philosophy is essentially powerful, then we'll sort out safe.
Let's move to step 5 and see how this builds into their roadmaps and AGI timelines.
Let's map out exactly when we can expect these titans to actually clash. If we lay the timeline out flat, based on current release cadences, it points to a major showdown. We had GPT-5 in August 2025 and 5.5 in early 2026. This puts the expected arrival of GPT-6 firmly in the late 2026 window. On the other side, following that rapid stream of Grok-4 updates, we can expect Grok-5 to land somewhere between late 2026 and early 2027. We are literally looking at a head-to-head collision stretching right across that window. But wait, what about that 10% AGI claim from the beginning of this explainer? Well, there's a really fascinating irony here. Despite all the internet hype, after GPT-5 actually shipped, serious forecasters didn't move their timelines up. They actually pushed their AGI estimates back to the early 2030s. Shipping a truly great model revealed just how incredibly hard that final stretch really is. OpenAI makes almost no public AGI promises, which honestly makes them a much more credible signal in a totally hype-saturated industry. Finally, step 6, the final AI verdict. Here at AI Verdict, we are making our actual call with a 60-40 confidence prediction favoring GPT-6 winning this race. Why? Because OpenAI possesses a steadier scaling cadence, a highly disciplined compute machine, and a robust safety program that prevents catastrophic public failures. Now, we give XAI a solid 40% because of their incredible momentum and that totally irreplaceable firehose of real-world data. However, we have to remember Musk has a very well-documented history of being, let's say, overly optimistic about timelines. But I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. As we look really closely, the underlying tech approaches of both companies are quietly converging on the exact same family of ideas. If Grok-5 achieves AGI-like status, it will probably resemble what OpenAI is building anyway. So does it even matter who crosses the finish line first? The real winner here might just be the competition itself, forcing both sides to innovate faster while balancing power and safety. I would love to hear your take. Drop a comment below with your predictions on who wins and when. And if you value structured, evidence-based explainers like this one, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next deep dive. Stay curious and keep learning.